Good day, everyone. This is Mercy. Today we'll be looking at the life of Judah, the son of Jacob, the fourth son of Jacob. And we'll be looking at the book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 26 to 27. We'll be looking at the book of Genesis, chapter 38, the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 3, and the book of First Chronicle, chapter 2, verse 3 to 4. Now let's start with the meaning of Judah. Judah means praise the Lord. It means praise the Lord. He got married to a Canaanite woman, the daughter of Shua. He had 5 sons, 3 sons from his wife and 2 sons from his daughter-in-law. I will tell you how he got his daughter-in-law pregnant, that she gave birth to 2 sons for him. So like I said earlier, he is the 4th son of Jacob from his first wife, Leah. He was the very one that suggested the selling of their brother Joseph instead of shedding his blood. He had 11 brothers and 1 sister. Judah left his brothers and visited a certain Adullamite, whose name was Era. That is his friend. There he got married to the daughter of Shua, a Canaanite. She gave birth to 3 sons for him before her death. Judah got a wife for his first son, She is called Tamar. Er's conduct was displeasing to God, and it was evil in the sight of God. So God killed him. Judah made his second son, Onan, marry Tamar, as their traditional law demands, that when a man dies and his wife and has no child or children, his brother will get married to his wife to give birth to a son or an heir that will continue the name of the dead man. So Judah made his second son to marry his daughter-in-law Tamar, being the wife of his late first son. So this happened for the name of his first son to continue, just to remain in existence. But Onan was not willing to do this. So whenever he had intercourse with Tamar, he spilled the semen on the ground, just to prevent her from having a child who would belong to his late brother. But this was displeasing in the sight of God, and God also killed him. So Judah asked Tamar, being his daughter-in-law, to go back to her father's house and remain a widow there, so for his 3rd son to come of age, then marry her. The name of his 3rd son is Shelah. But the truth of it is that Judah was scared. He was afraid, so that he will not also lose his last son. He was scared that the last son will also die. So Tamar went back to her father's house and stayed there. But after many years have passed, even when Shelah, the 3rd son of Judah, had come of age, Judah did not still release his 3rd son to marry her. She waited and waited, being a widow and putting on the widow garments, waiting for the 3rd son of Judah. But when she saw that nothing was happening, then she heard that Judah was going to Timnah with his friend Era. So when Tamar heard this, she removed her widow's garment and put on a veil, wrapping up herself and covering her face. Then she went and sat at the entrance of Enaim, which is on the road of Timnah. She sat there like a harlot. When Judah was passing and saw her, he thought truly that it was a harlot. So he went over to her and asked her to have intercourse with him, just the way men will go to prostitute and ask them, how much do you charge per night, or how much do you charge, like the way they do it. So when he got to her, that simply means that he did not recognize her because she was covered, fully covered. So when he made that statement to her, she asked him what he was going to offer, and he asked her what she wanted. She asked him what he was going to offer, and he told her he was going to give her a kid from his flocks. And she, seeing that he was not having the kid with him there, she asked him to drop something as a pledge, and he asked her what she wanted him to drop as a pledge. And she requested for his signet, his bracelet, and his staff. You can imagine what she requested for: his signet, his bracelet, and his staff. And because of the pleasure of sex, he released those things to her. And if you look at the book of Genesis chapter 39, there Jacob made a statement that the staff of Judah shall not depart from him. But Judah gave a harlot, one he thought was a harlot, his staff, just for sex, just for pleasure. So after having intercourse with her, she left and went back to her father's house, removed the garment she was putting on, and put on a widow's garment. Judah sent the kid through his friend Ira, but Ira couldn't find her. He asked questions but was told no harlot sits there. So Judah asked him to let it be, so people will not laugh at him. But after 3 months, it was discovered by people that Tamar was with a child. She was pregnant. So Judah was told that his daughter-in-law has played the harlot and that she was pregnant. And Judah asked them to bring her out and burn her. Before she was brought out, she sent a message to her father-in-law saying, I am pregnant for the man that owns all those things. When Judah saw his signet, his bracelet, and his staff, he immediately knew she was the woman he slept with in Timnah, and he told them to let her be, for she is even righteous than him. How is she righteous than Judah? So he said his last son Shelah is of age to marry Tamar, but him, Judah, is yet to make that happen. Instead, he allowed her to remain a widow in her father's house. So Tamar was left, she wasn't born again. She conceived and gave birth to twins. She called their name Perez and Zerah. Though during the birth, their names are being called this way because during birth, Zerah's hand came out first, but went in back, and Perez came out. So after Perez came out, that was when Zerah then came out. But though the midwife that was attending to Tamar, immediately Zerah's hand came out, she used a thread to tie. She tied a thread on his hand. So when he put his hand back, Perez came out. So after Perez came out, then Zerah also came out. So let's look at some lessons that we can learn from the life of Judah. Number 1 is for us to shun worldly pleasure. Shun worldly pleasure. If not for the sake of sex pleasure, Judah wouldn't have slept with his daughter-in-law. So the second one says, we should not be selfish. Judah was selfish to have allowed Tamar remain a widow in her father's house, even when his last son was of age to marry her, but the fear of losing his last son did not let him release his last son to marry Tamar. And thirdly, be mindful of the kind of friends that you keep. Try to keep friends that will give you good advice and encourage you positively when in need of encouragement. Thank you for listening. That is all for the life of Judah, the son of Jacob. I love you all. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also like and follow my Facebook page. Once again, I love you all.